The air inside the Galactic Unity buzzed with the chatter of students from countless worlds, each species bringing their own vibrancy to the classroom. Multicolored lights danced along the walls, pulsing in rhythm with the voices of the aliens as they shared stories, cultures, and laughter. In the corner, a group of students with tentacles were trying to help a tiny, furry creature juggle what looked like small, glowing orbs. Nearby, a pair of winged beings debated the merits of their respective home planets, their wings shimmering in a rainbow of hues. Yet, amid the kaleidoscope of alien life, one group stood out like a firefly in a dark forest: the humans, the so-called Deathworlders. Clad in their casual attire, they exuded a rugged charm that contrasted sharply with the delicate aesthetics of their peers. The Deathworlders had a reputation throughout the galaxy, a blend of awe and fear that accompanied tales of their resilience and brutality. Their home planet, Earth, was notorious for its harsh environments, and this reputation preceded them. At the front of the room, their instructor, a flamboyant alien named Professor Zithor, twirled dramatically. With his iridescent skin glistening under the classroom lights, he announced, "Class, today we will have a very special event. Pet Day." His voice boomed with excitement, capturing the attention of every student. "You will bring your beloved companions to share with your classmates." Gasps and murmurs erupted among the students. The timid alien, a small being with wide, curious eyes, felt a surge of excitement mixed with anxiety. What kind of pets do humans have? She wondered, her imagination racing with images of terrifying beasts. The Deathworlders, however, exchanged mischievous glances. "This is our chance," whispered Jake, the group's self-appointed leader, a tall and confident human with a sparkle in his eyes. "Let's show them what our pets can do." But not everyone felt enthusiastic. Zorak, the skeptical alien who always sat at the back of the class, leaned forward with his arms crossed. "You really think those creatures can compete with our pets? They're probably just as dangerous as their home planet," he muttered, shaking his head. Jake caught Zorak's comment and smirked. "Oh, you have no idea. Our pets are more than just animals. They're companions forged in the fires of survival. Wait until you see them in action." As the days passed leading up to Pet Day, the classroom buzzed with excitement and speculation. Students shared stories of their pets, soft, cuddly beings that could perform tricks and entertain with their unique talents. The atmosphere grew thicker with tension as the alien students debated whether the humans would bring something cute or something catastrophic. The timid alien, Lyra, decided to take a chance. She approached the Deathworlders during lunch. "What kind of pets are you bringing?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Jake grinned. "You'll see. Just remember, not everything that looks scary is dangerous." He leaned closer, lowering his voice conspiratorially. "You might just find a new appreciation for the misunderstood." Lyra smiled shyly, feeling a flutter of excitement mixed with trepidation. The more she learned about the Deathworlders, the more intrigued she became. What stories lay behind those rugged faces, and what incredible creatures would they share with the class? As the days ticked down to Pet Day, an undercurrent of anticipation charged the classroom. Would the Deathworlders manage to change the perceptions of their alien peers, or would their reputation as savage warriors haunt them, even among the most innocent of creatures? Only time would tell, but one thing was certain. The stage was set for an unforgettable encounter that would bridge worlds and challenge fears. As dawn broke over the Galactic Unity the ship's artificial sunlight illuminated the classroom, casting a warm glow over the diverse assembly of students. The excitement was palpable. Today was Pet Day, a day eagerly awaited by all, but particularly by the Deathworlders. They had spent countless hours preparing for this moment, refining their presentations and rehearsing their pet showcases. Professor Zithor glided into the room, his flamboyant robes flowing behind him like a cape. With a flourish, he addressed the class, his multiple eyes sparkling with mischief. "Welcome, young beings of the galaxy. Today, we embark on a journey of companionship and understanding. Each of you will present your pets, sharing a piece of your culture with us all." He paused for dramatic effect, allowing the anticipation to build. And remember, the most creative presentation will earn extra credit. The room erupted into a flurry of whispers and excited chatter as students began to strategize how to present their pets. Lyra, feeling a rush of adrenaline, exchanged glances with the Deathworlders, her curiosity piqued by their unusual confidence. Jake leaned over to her, his eyes glinting with enthusiasm. "We're going to blow their minds. Just wait." Zorak, still harboring doubts, muttered to himself, "This will end badly." He couldn't shake the feeling that the Deathworlders were about to embarrass themselves. But the air was electric, and even he felt a tug of curiosity. What did these humans think they could showcase that would impress anyone? As the class broke for preparation, Lyra approached the Deathworlders again, her heart pounding. "What are you planning to do?" she asked, her voice a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Jake grinned, showing off his perfect teeth. "We're going to show how versatile our pets are. You'll see tricks you've never imagined. Plus, they'll demonstrate their loyalty and training. Trust me, you'll be amazed." Meanwhile, the other alien students were busy preparing their pets, each vying for the attention and approval of their peers. One student showcased a fluffy creature that emitted soft, glowing lights, while another demonstrated a small, bouncy being that performed flips in midair. Each pet was cuter than the last, and the tension in the room began to shift as students shared their excitement. However, a dark cloud loomed over Zorak. He couldn't help but wonder what horrors lay behind the Deathworlders' smiles. Were their pets truly as safe as they claimed? He envisioned beasts of destruction wreaking havoc in the classroom, and the thought sent shivers down his spine. As Pet Day began, students took turns presenting their pets. Each performance met with applause and laughter. Lyra clapped enthusiastically as one alien performed a mesmerizing dance with the luminescent creature, whose light pulsed rhythmically in time with the music. She felt herself swept away by the joy of the moment, but she couldn't shake the anticipation of the Deathworlders' turn. Finally, it was time for the Deathworlders. Jake stood confidently at the front, flanked by his fellow humans and their pets. "All right, everyone, get ready for the best show you've ever seen," he announced, his voice booming with enthusiasm. The first pet, a large dog with a muscular build and friendly demeanor, stepped forward. "This is Max," Jake called out, and the dog performed a series of impressive tricks, fetching a thrown ball and executing rolls. Laughter erupted, and even Zorak cracked a small smile, despite himself. Next, they unveiled the smaller reptilian creature, which darted around the stage, completing obstacle courses with surprising agility. The alien students leaned forward, eyes wide with intrigue. Could these creatures really be as fearsome as their reputation suggested? Finally, the bear-like creature waddled onto the stage, a mix of admirable and intimidating. The audience gasped. It looked harmless, but the potential for mischief hung in the air, leaving everyone on edge. The tension escalated, and Lyra could hardly breathe as she sensed the collective anticipation of the room. Would this be the moment that changed everything, or would it end in chaos? The audience's energy crackled in the air as the Deathworlders continued their presentation. Jake's enthusiasm was contagious, and even the most skeptical students found themselves leaning in, intrigued by the humans' display of companionship with their pets. As Max performed a series of increasingly impressive tricks, the room erupted with cheers and laughter. "All right, now for the grand final," Jake announced, his voice booming. He gestured to the bear-like creature, which was now wagging its fluffy tail and looking adorably clumsy. "Meet Buddy. He's not just cute, he's got some serious skills." With a dramatic flourish, Jake released Buddy from his leash. The creature bounded across the room, its massive paws thumping against the floor as it chased after a brightly colored ball thrown by one of the other humans. The students gasped, laughter erupting as Buddy somersaulted in midair, catching the ball with a triumphant bark. Zorak crossed his arms, trying to maintain his skepticism, but even he couldn't deny the charm of the scene unfolding before him. Lyra watched in awe, her heart swelling with admiration for the Deathworlders. They were captivating, and their pets were undeniably impressive. Yet beneath the surface of excitement lay a tension that was palpable. Zorak glanced around, observing his classmates' reactions. Their eyes gleamed with curiosity, and for the first time, he noticed the glimmer of hope that perhaps not all Deathworlders were as savage as the story suggested. But what if they were? What if the Deathworlders' pets were hiding their true nature? His mind raced with possibilities, the air thickening with uncertainty. As Buddy performed a series of flips, Jake felt the thrill of victory building within him. He turned to the audience, ready to showcase Buddy's final trick. "All right, everyone, prepare to be amazed." He signaled to his friends, who stood ready with their other pets. In the background, an alien student named Kira was just finishing her own presentation with a small, fluffy creature that blinked its enormous eyes and let out a series of chirps. She had poured her heart into showcasing her pet's talents, and the audience responded warmly. Kira beamed, momentarily forgetting her nervousness, but the excitement of the Deathworlders drew her attention back. Jake took a deep breath, focusing on Buddy, who was now standing on his hind legs, looking like a gentle giant. "For the grand finale, Buddy will leap through this hoop," Jake announced, raising a glowing hoop high above his head. The audience erupted in cheers, anticipation hanging thick in the air. "Ready, Buddy?" Jake called, his heart racing with excitement. Buddy let out a happy bark, wagging his tail, seemingly understanding the challenge ahead. But just as Jake tossed the hoop onto the ground and clapped his hands to signal the start of the trick, an unexpected noise echoed through the room. A loud clang, followed by the screech of metal. A delivery drone, which had been hovering nearby, lost control and crashed into a wall, scattering bright packaging materials everywhere. Startled by the sudden chaos, Buddy instinctively reacted. With a sudden burst of energy, he lunged forward, his enormous paws landing heavily on the ground. The audience gasped in shock, and Lyra's heart raced as she watched the scene unfold. In an instant, the atmosphere shifted from excitement to panic. Students scrambled to dodge the debris and Buddy's massive frame as he dashed toward the drone, barking excitedly, mistaking it for a playful object. The alien creatures in the room panicked, and the once cheerful atmosphere became a whirlwind of chaos. Jake's heart dropped as he realized what was happening. "No, Buddy, come back," he shouted, sprinting after the massive creature, desperately trying to regain control of the situation. The classroom erupted into chaos as the alien students scattered, trying to avoid the clumsy, excited bear-like creature. As Buddy leaped and bounded through the classroom, the air filled with screams and laughter, some of shock and others of delight. The Deathworlders were in full panic mode, trying to calm their beloved pet, while the aliens wrestled with their preconceived notions of danger. The room was a cacophony of confusion, and Lyra could only watch in wide-eyed horror, unsure of what would happen next. Would this be the moment that changed everything for the Deathworlders, or would it solidify the fear that surrounded them? The classroom transformed into a chaotic circus as Buddy dashed around, scattering papers and packaging while frightened students navigated the debris. The colorful orbs, left over from Tara's presentation, rolled across the floor, adding to the pandemonium. Lyra stood frozen, her heart racing as she tried to process the whirlwind of activity. "Buddy, stop," Jake yelled, his voice cutting through the chaos. He sprinted after the massive creature, dodging alien students who darted in various directions. Buddy, caught in a whirlwind of excitement, barked joyfully, oblivious to the turmoil he was causing. Professor Zither, sensing the spiraling chaos, flared his tentacles and shouted, "Students, remain calm. This is a learning experience. He moved forward, his commanding presence demanding attention despite the turmoil. But in the din, his words barely registered with the panicked crowd. Max, the trained dog, barked and lunged after Buddy, trying to catch up with the energetic creature. "Max, stay," Jake shouted, desperate to maintain control. But the playful rivalry between the two pets only fueled Buddy's excitement. Lyra finally shook off her shock and sprang into action. "I can help," she called, rushing toward the front of the classroom. She remembered the techniques her family used to calm anxious pets back home. Maybe she could help redirect Buddy's energy. "Here, Buddy," she shouted, kneeling down and holding out her hands, hoping the bear-like creature would respond to her. "Look what I have." In her pocket, she fished out a small treat she had saved for her own pet. It was an odd combination of dried fruits and nuts, but she knew it would attract Buddy's attention. Jake caught sight of Lyra as she called to Buddy, and for the first time, he felt a flicker of hope. "Yes, Lyra, get his attention," he yelled, determination flooding his voice. At that moment, Buddy skidded to a halt, intrigued by the treat in Lyra's outstretched hands. The chaos in the classroom faded into the background as the creature's curiosity peaked. It turned, bounding toward Lyra, its massive form a mixture of grace and clumsiness. As Buddy approached, Lyra's heart raced, her palms clammy with anticipation. "Good boy, Buddy. Sit," she commanded, using a firm but gentle tone. The creature paused, its big eyes fixating on her, and for a fleeting moment, the chaos hung in the air like a suspended breath. To everyone's astonishment, Buddy sat down, his wide body thumping against the floor. The classroom went silent, all eyes on Lyra and the enormous creature that loomed before her. "That's it. Just focus on me," she encouraged, heart pounding with excitement. She slowly tossed the treat, watching as Buddy lunged forward to catch it, his previous antics forgotten. "Great job, Lyra," Jake beamed, relief washing over him as he rushed to join her. "You did it. Now we just need to get him back under control." As the students began to relax, Zorak found himself stunned. The timid alien he had dismissed as weak had just managed to calm the wild creature. He felt a strange mix of admiration and embarrassment wash over him. Maybe he had underestimated the humans and the aliens around him. Perhaps there was more to Lyra than he had given her credit for. With Lyra's guidance, Jake and the other Deathworlders approached Buddy cautiously, encouraging him to stand. The once panic-stricken classroom slowly transformed back into a place of wonder. Jake took a deep breath and looked around. "Okay, everyone, let's get back to Pet Day," he announced, determination back in his voice. Lyra smiled, her heart still racing, but filled with newfound confidence. The tension in the room had shifted, now buzzing with renewed excitement and curiosity. As they prepared to continue with their presentations, Lyra realized that this chaotic event had brought them all closer, breaking down barriers and fostering unexpected alliances. "All right, next up," Jake said, turning to his fellow humans, "let's show them how amazing our pets really are." He could feel the energy in the room shifting as students began to re-engage with enthusiasm. The stage was set for a new beginning, one that promised to challenge preconceived notions and strengthen the bonds between species. The anticipation hung in the air, electrifying and vibrant, as they prepared to unveil the true heart of their pets and their humanity. With the chaos of Buddy's escapades finally under control, the classroom buzzed with a sense of renewed excitement. The students resumed their seats, their eyes wide with curiosity as the Deathworlders prepared to showcase their pets again. Lyra felt a sense of pride swell in her chest. She had helped calm Buddy and redirect the energy in the room. "Thanks, Lyra," Jake said, his voice brimming with gratitude as he patted Buddy's massive head, still breathing heavily, but now at ease. "You really saved the day back there. Let's keep the momentum going." Lyra blushed at the praise but felt her confidence growing. "I'm just glad he's okay," He's really sweet, once you get to know him. The classroom's atmosphere felt lighter now, filled with a sense of camaraderie. Jake stepped back to the front of the classroom. Okay, everyone. Let's show you what else our pets can do. He gestured for his fellow Deathworlders to join him, and they lined up beside Buddy, who was now sitting quietly, his tongue lolling out in a goofy grin. First up, Max. Jake called out, and the trained dog stepped forward. Watch as he demonstrates his incredible agility. Max began to navigate a series of obstacles set up by the other Deathworlders, showcasing leaps and bounds that drew cheers from the crowd. The crowd was captivated, and laughter echoed as Max executed flawless tricks, weaving through tunnels and jumping over small barriers. Just as the applause began to swell, the classroom door swung open, revealing a new arrival. A curious alien who had been late to class. With wide eyes and a stack of brightly colored books, the newcomer gasped at the sight of Buddy sitting peacefully in the center of the room. Jake, still riding high on the success of Max's performance, gestured enthusiastically. Come on in. We're just getting started. His cheerful demeanor seemed to invite the newcomer into the festivities, but Buddy's demeanor shifted subtly at the unexpected disruption. Lyra, still near the front, noticed Buddy's ears perk up, a hint of tension returning to his massive frame. Although, she murmured under her breath, her instincts warning her of the potential chaos that could ensue. Suddenly, the newcomer stumbled back, dropping a book in shock at the sight of Buddy. The loud thud of the book hitting the floor echoed through the room, and in an instant, Buddy's playful nature shifted. He stood up, looking toward the noise with curiosity. Buddy, no, Jake shouted, but it was too late. The bear-like creature bounded toward the newcomer, excitedly sniffing at the fallen book. In a flash, panic rippled through the classroom again. The students shrieked as Buddy, thinking it was a new toy, lunged forward, trying to pick up the book with his mouth. Papers flew into the air, and the energy in the room reverted to chaos as students scrambled to avoid the rampaging creature. The newcomer, wide-eyed and terrified, tried to back away, only to trip over a chair. The entire room erupted into a cacophony of shouting and laughter, the scene spiraling out of control. Max, get Buddy, Jake called out, his voice a mix of desperation and determination. Max sprang into action, darting after Buddy in a bid to calm him. Lyra could only watch, heart racing as the classroom devolved into a wild spectacle. Lyra, Jake shouted, spotting her amidst the chaos. Help us get him under control. Taking a deep breath, Lyra remembered what had worked before. She sprinted toward the center of the room, calling out, Buddy, look at me. Treat. She fished out another snack from her pocket, waving it in the air to catch Buddy's attention. For a moment, everything felt suspended in time as she and the other students held their breath, waiting to see if it would work again. Would this simple tactic be enough to diffuse the chaos and restore calm to the classroom? Or had they all just made a terrible mistake in inviting Deathworlders to share their world? The outcome hung in the balance, teetering between amusement and disaster. Lyra's voice rang out above the chaos, cutting through the cacophony of shouts and laughter. She waved the treat in the air, trying to capture Buddy's attention. The bear-like creature paused mid-leap, its massive body hovering in confusion as it turned to face her, curious and alert. Buddy, come here. Lyra called, her voice steady despite the whirlwind around her. She knelt down, holding the treat close to her chest, hoping to draw the creature in. For a moment, it seemed like time had slowed. Everyone in the room watched, caught between anticipation and worry. Slowly, Buddy's expression shifted from excitement to focus. His ears perked up, and he tilted his head, a mix of curiosity and eagerness lighting up his eyes. The moment felt charged with hope, and Jake took a cautious step back, allowing Lyra space to work her magic. Good boy. Come on, Buddy, Lyra urged, gently beckoning him closer with the treat. The bear-like creature took a tentative step forward, then another, its massive paws making soft thuds against the floor. The classroom, still tense with anxiety, collectively held its breath as Buddy approached Lyra, who remained calm and steady. As Buddy reached her, Lyra gently offered the treat, her hand steady despite the pounding of her heart. The creature sniffed the offering, then gently took it from her fingers, munching happily. A collective sigh of relief washed over the room as Buddy settled down, flopping onto the floor beside Lyra with a contented sigh. "Well done," Jake exclaimed, a mix of admiration and pride in his voice. "You really know how to handle him." The classroom erupted in applause, the chaotic tension dissipating like morning fog. Lyra felt a rush of warmth at the unexpected praise, her cheeks flushing with embarrassment and pride. Buddy rolled onto his back, inviting scratches, and the atmosphere shifted from panic to playfulness as students began to relax. Zorak, who had been watching the events unfold with skepticism, finally cracked a smile. "I have to admit, that was impressive," he said, turning to Lyra. "I didn't think a human could manage a creature like that so easily." Lyra blinked in surprise, her heart racing. "Thanks. I just knew he needed a little reassurance," she replied, her voice soft but steady. The alien's acknowledgement felt like a breakthrough, and she could sense the atmosphere in the room shifting. Encouraged by Buddy's newfound calm, Jake gathered his friends around him. "Okay, everyone, let's finish this show," he said, his voice full of energy once more. "We still have more to show you." With Buddy lying peacefully beside Lyra, Max returned to the stage, ready to perform another set of tricks. The energy in the classroom shifted again, this time toward eagerness. Students leaned in closer, their eyes shining with excitement as they prepared to see what else the Deathworlders had in store. The next act featured the smaller, agile reptilian creature darting through tunnels and showcasing acrobatic feats that left the audience in awe. Students cheered, their enthusiasm rising as they began to appreciate the unique qualities of the Deathworlders' pets. As the show continued, Lyra found herself immersed in the joy of the moment. She exchanged smiles with the Deathworlders, feeling a growing bond forming between their worlds. She caught Zorak's eye across the room, and to her surprise, he raised an approving eyebrow, a subtle acknowledgement of the connection they were all forging. After several more displays of talent and skill, Jake concluded the showcase with a final announcement. "Thank you all for being such great sports. We hope we've shown you that our pets can be just as amazing, playful, and loving as any other creature." The classroom erupted in applause, the atmosphere electric with enthusiasm. For Lyra, the tension that had hung in the air just moments before felt like a distant memory. The Deathworlders had not only showcased their pets, but had also bridged the divide between their cultures. As the applause died down, Professor Zither stepped forward, his multiple eyes glimmering with pride. "What a wonderful demonstration of companionship. You have all shown that the bonds we form with our pets are universal, transcending even the most profound differences among our species. Today has been a remarkable success." Lyra beamed, her heart swelling with a sense of accomplishment. They had transformed the potential disaster of Pet Day into a celebration of unity and understanding. But as the students began to chatter excitedly among themselves, she couldn't help but wonder, had this day truly changed their perceptions, or would they always carry their preconceived notions with them? The path forward remained uncertain, but one thing was clear: the journey had only just begun. As the applause faded and chatter filled the room, Lyra couldn't shake the feeling that something significant had transpired. The Deathworlders had come into their world with their unique pets, and now the barriers that once separated them were beginning to crumble. The vibrant atmosphere was a stark contrast to the tension that had previously enveloped the classroom. Jake and the others gathered around Buddy, showering him with affection. "You did great, Buddy," Jake exclaimed, scratching behind the creature's ears. "You've made a lot of new friends today." Lyra stood nearby, feeling a sense of belonging she hadn't anticipated. She watched as the alien students gathered around the Deathworlders, asking questions and petting Buddy, who relished the attention. The room buzzed with excitement and curiosity, and Lyra felt her heart swell with hope for a future filled with understanding and friendship. But not everyone was on board. Zorak, still leaning against the wall with his arms crossed, observed the mingling with skepticism. He had seen his classmates change their attitudes, but the wariness he felt toward the Deathworlders lingered. While others found joy in the pets, he could not shake the feeling that they represented something dangerous, an unpredictability that could threaten their way of life. As the mingling continued, Lyra approached Zorak, her heart racing with a mix of determination and concern. "What's wrong?" she asked softly, hoping to bridge the gap between them. "You've been quiet since the presentation." Zorak sighed, his tentacles twitching slightly. "It's just, I don't understand how you can all be so easily swayed. These creatures are not native to our world. They are animals." Lyra interjected gently. "Just like our pets. They may be different, but that doesn't make them dangerous. Look at how Buddy calmed down. It's all about understanding and respect." Zorak raised an eyebrow, still unconvinced. "You don't understand the history. Deathworlders have a reputation for being unpredictable. Their pets are a reflection of that chaos. What if this friendliness is a facade? What if something goes wrong?" Before Lyra could respond, a group of students nearby burst into laughter as Max playfully tackled Buddy, both creatures rolling on the floor in a display of exuberance. The joy in the room was palpable, and Lyra felt a surge of hope. "Look at them," she said, gesturing to the scene. "They're not fighting. They're playing. Isn't that what it's all about? If we focus on our similarities instead of our differences, we can create something beautiful." Zorak's expression softened slightly as he watched the animals frolic together. "Perhaps," he admitted, though doubt still lingered in his voice. "But it's a risk. What if this relationship leads to consequences we cannot foresee?" Lyra stepped closer, her voice steady. "Life is full of risks, Zorak. But without taking chances, we can't grow. Just like how we learn to be friends with each other, we can learn to be friends with them too. Give it a chance." Zorak turned to her, his eyes reflecting a mixture of uncertainty and curiosity. "And what if I end up regretting it?" "Then at least you'll know," Lyra replied, her voice gentle but firm. "You'll have learned something about yourself and about others. Isn't that worth the risk?" Before Zorak could respond, Tira joined them, a bright smile illuminating her face. "Hey, Lyra. Zorak. Come see what we're doing." She gestured toward the group of students, where Buddy was now engaging with another alien pet, a small, fluffy creature that chirped excitedly. Zorak hesitated, his instincts still urging caution, but Lyra's words lingered in his mind. As the sounds of laughter and joy filled the air, he felt the weight of his skepticism begin to lift. With a reluctant nod, he followed Tyra and Lyra toward the playful gathering, curiosity gnawing at him. As they joined the throng of students, Zorak felt the tension in his chest ease just a little. Perhaps this wasn't just about the Deathworlders and their pets. Perhaps it was about forging a new path together, one that could lead to understanding and connection. As the laughter rang out around him, Zorak found himself contemplating the possibilities. Would he take the leap, or would he remain tethered to his doubts? Only time would tell. But for now, he was willing to see where this new journey might lead. The classroom buzzed with laughter and chatter as the students mingled, drawn together by the shared experience of Pet Day. Lyra watched as Buddy played alongside Max and the small, fluffy alien pet, whose exuberance mirrored the joy spreading throughout the room. It was a sight she had longed to see, a bridge forming between worlds. Zorak stood at the edge of the gathering, observing the interplay of species with a mix of fascination and trepidation. He had entered the classroom with doubts, but now he felt a tug of curiosity as he watched Lyra interact with the Deathworlders and their pets. She had championed the idea of connection, and he couldn't help but wonder if she was right about the potential for unity. "Zorak," Tira called, waving him over with an enthusiastic smile. "Come join us. We're showing off our pet's tricks." He hesitated, caught between his instincts and the unexpected warmth of camaraderie. Lyra's encouraging gaze urged him forward, and with a deep breath, he made his way toward the group. The alien students welcomed him, and soon he found himself standing beside Lyra, watching as Jake prepared for the next demonstration. "All right, everyone," Jake announced, his excitement palpable. "Now we're going to show you Buddy's special skill. Let's see how he can assist with tasks." As Jake demonstrated how Buddy could retrieve objects, Zorak felt a sense of intrigue begin to grow within him. The creature's intelligence and responsiveness challenged his preconceived notions. He realized that perhaps there was more to these Deathworlders than mere unpredictability. Lyra nudged him playfully. "See, isn't he amazing?" Zorak nodded, a small smile breaking through his stoic facade. "I must admit, I underestimated him. He seems quite capable." Jake continued to engage the students, urging Buddy to fetch various items scattered around the classroom. The large creature bounded back and forth, tail wagging furiously as it eagerly delivered items to their owners. The room erupted into cheers, and Zorak found himself clapping along with the others, his heart lightening as the atmosphere filled with joy. As the demonstration concluded, Lyra turned to Zorak, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "What do you think? Can you see how much fun this can be?" Zorak considered her words, feeling the warmth of connection blooming in his chest. "I do see the joy," he admitted, "and it is refreshing. But I still worry about what lies beyond this moment. Can this last?" "Let's not think about the future just yet," Lyra suggested. "Let's enjoy the present. Right now, we're making memories." As the day progressed, the students took turns showcasing their pets' abilities, and the once familiar boundaries blurred. Zorak began to engage with the Deathworlders, asking questions and even sharing a few stories of his own. The connections they formed felt genuine, transcending the barriers of species and culture. As the class drew to a close, Professor Zither gathered everyone's attention. "Today has been nothing short of extraordinary. Each of you has shown the power of friendship and understanding. Let this day be a reminder that we are stronger together, no matter our origins." The applause that followed was thunderous, echoing through the classroom and beyond. Lyra felt a swell of pride for what they had accomplished together. She glanced at Zorak, whose expression now held a glimmer of newfound acceptance. "Maybe this is just the beginning," Zorak said, his voice thoughtful. "Perhaps we can learn more from each other." "Absolutely," Lyra replied, her heart full. "And who knows what other surprises await us if we keep this momentum going." As the students began to pack up their belongings, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement for future collaborations. Zorak found himself chatting with Jake, sharing thoughts about their respective cultures and what they could learn from one another. Lyra stood beside them, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. That day had started with uncertainty and apprehension, but it ended with laughter, connection, and the promise of a brighter future. The boundaries between their worlds had begun to blur, replaced by the vibrant threads of friendship and understanding. As the classroom emptied, Lyra realized that they had created something remarkable, a community where differences were embraced rather than feared. With every step they took toward each other, they were not just sharing their pets, they were sharing their lives, their stories, and their hopes for a unified tomorrow. And as she looked around at her friends, both old and new, she felt the dawn of a new era rising, a world where every creature, no matter how foreign, could find a place to belong.